Audio Jungle.
To all our panelists. So I hope the slide is clearly visible to all. And over here, we all have gathered together to look at the need for addressing SDGs at the root. Whenever we talk of sustainability means utilizing the resources so that we don't let our upcoming generations compromise in terms of resources, which means we leave sufficient for them so that they don't fall short of any kind. But let's check, are we really doing it? Are we really leaving the right amount of resources for our upcoming generations? And that's a big question. In fact, these sustainable development goals have been adopted by United Nations member states since 2015, and the universal framework is aimed to create a better and more sustainable world by 2030. These Sustainable Development Goals, which are 17 in number, have 169 specific targets that are addressing the social, the economic, and the environmental challenges which are faced across the globe. In fact, we do understand that everyone is looking forward to accomplishment of these Sustainable Development Goals. The issue is a lot of efforts have been taken worldwide to achieve these SDGs. A large number of groups like environmentalists, social workers, researchers, politicians, NGOs, government agencies, all of them are putting some or the other effort in various directions so that everyone talks about sustainability. It's the buzzword. If we go back to the last 4 or 5 decades, we see that there has been an increasing awareness and concern about sustainability. We talk of green chemistry, we talk of green architecture, we talk of building materials to be green, we talk of everything to be green. A large number of protocols have been drafted, action plans have been devised, like Millennium Development Goals, SAARC Development Goals, and so on. Now, the big question is, if we look at the current data supports that the efforts are falling short of the targets. For example, if we look at the SDG 1, which talks of no poverty, and what we observe is that 590 million people, as projected, may still live in extreme poverty by 2030. When we talk of zero hunger, the data suggests that with this current rate, 1 out of every 5 children will be stunted in terms of growth. So if we look at the current data shows that the efforts are not in accordance with the kind of impact that we are looking forward to. So the efforts are falling short. We can see at the level of each and every SDG. And the gaps, in fact, tend to increase. The global unemployment rates, the gender disparity, all this we observe, the gaps are growing further. So even though we made a lot of efforts in various directions, what we observe is, this is the SDG report 2024, which says that with less than 1/5 of the targets on track, the world is failing to deliver on the SDG promises. This is the UN report which one can check back. So there are very marginal impacts. Now, is it not the right time to look at why there are so many gaps? Even though it is a problem, are we really following a solution-centric approach? Something which we discussed in the morning session also, in the keynote address also. So are we really looking at the solution-centric approach, or our approach is very much limited by concentrating only on the problem? So what do you think? Which approach will be better? Are we really looking at these SDGs and trying to address them at the root? So let's check. Do we need to look at sustainability more fundamentally? That's one big question which we are trying to look through the UHV perspective. So in order to understand sustainability, let's understand our living as a human being. Because this sustainability is an important question pertinent to my own living as a human being. How do I want to live as a human being? I want to live with continuity of my happiness and prosperity. This sustainability should lead to my continuity of happiness and prosperity, which means we want sustainability of happiness and prosperity for myself as well as the upcoming generations. It's not that I just want my happiness to be there. I want it to be continued one generation after the other. Is it or not? We can just check that. So this sustainability should ensure that I don't have the feeling of deprivation. I live with the feeling of prosperity. I ensure my happiness every moment and continue it with my upcoming generations. Now, question is, have we really understood the real meaning of happiness? Do we understand what happiness is? Do we understand what prosperity is? Are we discussing it at any forum? Or we have some assumptions related to happiness and prosperity? Do we require some preparation to understand sustainably living as a human being? This is something which we need to look forward to. As discussed in the keynote 2, as a human being, I need to be living with human consciousness. When we say human consciousness, we had this discussion towards the beginning in the keynote lecture that as a human being, I need to ensure all three in my living. Living with the correct priority order, with right understanding at the level of self. When I ensure fulfillment in my relationships, it makes me happy, it makes the other also happy. With right understanding at the level of self, I am able to rightly utilize the physical facility. I understand my need, and with that clarity, I utilize the physical facility, whatever is needed. And this ensures my prosperity as well as the prosperity of this entire nature and existence. Thus, living with human consciousness is helping me to work for a sustainable model. When I understand harmony at each and every level of my living, as a human being, if I look at my complete living, I live as an individual, I live as a member of my family, I live as a part of my society, and I am part of this entire nature and existence. So, through education, when I understand harmony at each and every level of my being and live by it, that is the preparation that I need to understand sustainability fundamentally. Now, the gross misconception that we are facing today is the materialistic perspective, where everything is related to more and more of accumulation. The materialistic perspective, where the focus is entirely on the physical facility that we are deriving from this nature. So the current model is entirely based on this materialistic perspective, where human being is assumed to be a body, and with this assumption that I am just the body, I try to maximize all sorts of sensory pleasures and extreme consumerism. Now, with this extreme consumerism and maximization of more and more of sensory pleasures, I assume my needs to be unlimited. And therefore, with that unlimited material needs, it is not possible to fulfill the needs of everyone with the resources available on the planet. Now, treating this entire nature meant to serve me as a human being, where I am thinking that I am the master. I am just violating the very dynamics, the inherent model of interconnectedness, coexistence, and the dynamic balance which is pertinent within this nature. So, the big question is, if we discard the present model of development, which is entirely based on focusing the physical facility, how else do we live? We don't know. And if we continue it, are we really living at all? So, unsustainability, which we see around us at every nook and corner, is attributed to this unsustainable lifestyle which we have accumulated over years. The unsustainable lifestyle is due to our entirely focused materialistic worldview. Due to this materialistic perspective, we are facing problems everywhere, which includes poverty, hunger, gender inequality, life on land being threatened, life below water being threatened, and so on. Now, these present problems that we observe are mere symptoms. Symptoms which are indicating that as a human being, I'm not living with right understanding. And we are not even talking about it. The prevalent problems can only be solved once we develop a holistic worldview. Through UHV, that's what we are trying to address too. So the above issues are an automatic ill effect of our materialistic perspective. Can we see that? Now, when we try to focus on the solution-centric approach, the solution-centric approach needs to have a complete overhauling of my worldview, which means shifting from this limited worldview to a holistic worldview, which means shifting or progressing from this materialistic perspective to this human consciousness, where right understanding, relationship, and physical facility, all three become my priority. Living in this bigger circle ensures mutual happiness, mutual prosperity at each and every level of my being. So now I need to check myself as a human being. I need to ask what kind of development, what kind of progress I want for myself, for the mankind, for the human beings. Is this the transformation which I am looking forward to? Am I making the right kind of a program? What do we think? Is this essential or not for each one of us? What is exactly development or progress? Focusing only on physical facility or focusing on all three? So, if I want to work towards addressing these SDGs at the root, I need to make the right kind of a program where I understand myself as a human being. A human being is not just a body. In fact, if we understand ourselves as human being, we can very easily see a human being, a coexistence of these two realities, the consciousness coexisting with the material. It is this consciousness which is seeking this happiness every moment. This happiness is understanding of harmony at each and every level of our living. Prosperity is a feeling of having more than the required physical facility, which can only be ensured by understanding the need. Can I ever get to know how much amount will be there in my cup if the cup doesn't have a bottom? So, this prosperity is the feeling of having more than the required physical facility. When I start living with human consciousness, I start ensuring right understanding in my living, and I ensure justice in relationship, and my participation in the larger order is ensuring that I work for humane society. And that is the role of education. So through UHV, as universal human values, we are trying to inculcate for each one of us these proposals, which one can verify on one's own right. And everyone can take this journey from the materialistic perspective to this humanistic perspective, which is living with human consciousness, where everyone, through the process of education, can ensure this transformation, where everyone can work on oneself and make this shift within oneself. We all look forward to this humane society where these sustainable development goals are addressed at the root. So let's check out through all this discussion that are we really looking forward to addressing these SDGs at the level of root. So with this, I'll try to put forth the UHV perspective for all of you, and maybe with further discussions, we can be able to find some directions, some conclusions for ourselves. So I hope I have put forth my perspective, which I wanted to share with all our panelists over here, and we can take forward the discussions.
Thank you, Dr. Vanchana Singh, for placing this elaborate viewpoint that entitles this holistic view to address this SDG. So very nicely you have presented the viewpoint with lots of effort you have made for this SDG, but the impact was so marginal. The need to look this SDG at the fundamental level, how it is important was nicely placed. So by understanding, one can able to understand the people as well as the planet, which is closely aligned with SDG goals. So thank you, Anjanaji, for taking us the walkthrough of what is the role of education for this human transformation. So now let us have the poll. So I request all the delegates and attendees to answer the poll. What is the primary objective of the Sustainable Development Goals adopted by the United Nations in 2015? To achieve technological advancement by 2030, to create a more competitive global economy, to build a better and more sustainable world by 2030, or to promote the national interest over the global cooperation. I hope you all can able to see the poll. By the meantime, to see the results. We have an esteemed panel with us today, consisting of experts from various fields who will share their insights on the current approach for the need of SDGs and the potential benefits of more holistic approach. So now I would like to introduce our esteemed panel members one after another. First, we have a renowned expert, Dr. Srividhya Sukumar, a Dean, EDU Gate Global Dubai. She is the educationist, government advisor, and quality assurance expert, and she's a director of corporate affairs and advisory director for Mirashi, and also director for sustainability. And she also contributed in COP 28. Welcome, Dr. Srividhya Sukumar.
Thank you, Dr. Shupraja, and that was a very sweet and short introduction. And I really thank all the eminent speakers who have joined us, on this session. And this SDG, the topic that we are discussing today has been always very close to our hearts ever since after COVID.
Thank you.
COVID has been, though it has created a wave among us about the awareness and about knowledge sharing and working together. I think it has been a blessing in disguise, and we all should be very thankful to COVID for that. Why? Because all these online sessions and all these campaigns have started more rigorously only after the COVID pandemic, when we were exposed ourselves for the online sessions or the hybrid sessions that we're talking about. So thanks for that. So this
Welcome.
topic.
Welcome,
Yes.
Dr. Srividhya. Let me introduce all the panelists and then we can move on to the panel discussion. Is that fine, Dr. Srividhya?
Yeah, fine, sure.
Thank you. So next we have our Dr. Suresh Dimani, a principal from D.Y. Patil Pratishthan College of Engineering, Kolhapur, Maharashtra. And he's an outstanding leader in higher education. And he has received so many awards, Aryabhatta Award from ARAI and Best Principal Award from the London School of Business, Digital Business. And he is guiding many doctoral theses as well as masters. Welcome, Dr. Suresh Mane. Namaste. And next we have our another esteemed panelist, Dr. Shekhar Babu. He's a principal from Siddhartha Institute of Engineering and Technology, Hyderabad. He's been serving as a noblest of his profession over 25 years, and he has proven himself as a special leader by equating the actions and integrity. And he has a sense of commitment and grown academically, mentally, and holistically. Welcome, Dr. Shekhar Babu. Namaste.
Thank you, madam. Namaste.
And we have in our panel Dr. Vanchana Singh. Namaste, Vanchana Singh. So thank you all for joining with us today. So I am awaiting to hear from all of you your insights and perspective on this important discussion. So before we start up with the panel discussion, let me end the poll and we can share the results. So
Yes, 100%.
So 100%, yeah. So all of us can able to see, the primary objective of Sustainable Development Goals adopting by United Nations in 2015 is to build a better and more sustainable world by 2030. So all of us can able to see this naturally. Thank you all for voting for this poll. I also invite ICHVHE, one of another panelist. ICHVHE is a core volunteer in UHV, and she has worked as a director and she has experience of more than 20 years. Welcome, ICHVHE.
Thank you, Shupraja.
Yeah. So let us begin our panel discussion with the question to Dr. Suresh Dimane. Dr. Suresh, what do you think how the change of worldview can address the SDG at the root? Can you give a few examples for this, how the change in the worldview can address the SDG at the root level?
Good morning, madam. Actually, it's a pleasure to be interacting in this August forum. As my understanding goes, this UHV started a few years back, and these SDGs were introduced in the year 2015. And prior to that, we had Millennium, as Madam Vanchana was telling, we had Millennium Development Goals. And 2015, this 193 countries, they joined hands and they came out with this 17 SDGs and 169 targets, so that by the year 2030 we are more sustainable planet. And the five guiding pillars for this is, as you rightly, Dr. Supraja told, people and planet. And to add to that, you require peace, you require prosperity, as well as you require partnerships. So I think we are on the track. I see you, madam, was speaking about statistics. There are statistics saying that 17 we are on 17% are on track, and 17% are off track also. And India ranks around 108 out of the 162 countries as far as attainment of this SDGs is concerned. But I feel somewhere it is again, Madam was telling that things have to be absolute. You cannot be, it cannot be relative. Like I was asking her about relationship or this right understanding. So let us go with the understanding that now with a forum like this, we are trying to create a awareness among the stakeholders, be it faculty, students, stating that there is a need and we to address these 17 SDGs, and everybody will slowly work onto that. I, being from the education sector, I'm happy to share that the accreditation bodies in India, like National Accreditation and Assessment Council (NAC) or National Board of Accreditation, or even international global accreditations like ABET, Accreditation Board of Engineering and Technology, they have incorporated these SDGs into their curriculum and into their metrics also. So in case you want to go for accreditation of ABET or NBA, I was just going through the NBA manual for the year 24, what they have launched for autonomous colleges. They have put some three metrics where we should be working towards attainment of this SDGs. So this is a welcome step, and we have a long way to go. I don't say that we have a time frame. We have started with a good note. All the countries have joined hands, and in days to follow, I think we will improve, and we will have a better planet with all the people, intellectuals joining hands, and these kind of forums which are advocating and advancing this knowledge. I'm very optimistic that we have started well, and with the days to follow, we will have a better place to live. And UHV, I would really appreciate that UHV has taken a stand on this, and I think to attain this SDGs, UHV is the bare minimum requirement. We need to understand the values, we need to appreciate the values, and then we need to, as madam was telling, we need to be in harmony with ourselves, with the society, with the family, then ultimately with the nature. If this one thought everybody carries, then definitely this planet will be sustainable. I only hope that this knowledge has to spread across the people and in the right way, so that everybody, there is a philosophy with this UHP members that you have to put up a proposal and people have to accept it. You can't thrust any idea upon people. So once they understand, realize it, then they'll accept it. As we all see at this point in time, I think 1 o'clock everybody is awake and we are trying to discuss on this issue. It clearly shows that we are attaching importance to this. And I'm sure in days to follow, all the learned panel members are contributing their role. I have seen, I was just talking that Srividhya, Dr. Srividhya, she also heard her speak on IGEN, Indian Green Engineers Forum. So the thought is there, and it is cascading, and over a period of time, I'm sure there will be better days to follow. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Surashmani ji, for nicely putting forward that SDGs importance are seen in the education, and every curriculum are trying to impart that SDG as a part. And as you rightly mentioned, the better relationship with the people and with the planet to be understood, and this knowledge of right understanding should reach to all the people. So that is all what we are trying. So I take the same question to another panelist, Dr. Srividhya Sukumar. What do you think about concerning this worldview, how this worldview can address the SDG at the root? What is your perspective, Dr. Srividhya?
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Supraja. As I take the words from Dr. Suresh as well, there is a beautiful Upanishad saying, which I think every one of us will be aware of. Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya, Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya, Om Shanti Shanta Shantihi. And the meaning also we know it very well. That is, lead me from unreal to real. That means light from darkness to light. It is not like exactly what we are talking about is from the darkness to light. It's from ignorance to the knowledge. That's what we are trying to do now. And so, like, what is practically possible from that we will absorb from the situation and we will take it forward. And that's what we are doing now. And from death, it's not death to immortality. We need to change it to little better. From our limitations to all liberations. That is, with all the doubts and misfaith and disbelief and mistrust, all these things, fears, and with all these things that we are sailing through, with leaving aside all those limitations, we should liberate ourselves from all these jinx and with all this, tantrums and whatever thing that we call from our side. So we should liberate ourselves such that our soul becomes more enlightened to achieve peace from within ourselves, such that we are taking forward to our community. So this is a beautiful saying. Why did I even connect it to SDGs? Because there's one more saying which we can take from our previous, where there is righteousness in the heart. If at all we want to bring a change in the society, it should definitely start from self, from an individual, such that we take it forward to the family, the next family. From the family, we take it to our society. From the society, we take it to the community. From the community, we bring the change in others. It is very beautifully said in another quote, that is, where there is righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in the character. The change that we want to look forward, that will bring that will become our character. And it's again said that when there is beauty in the character, there is always harmony in the home, such that I live with my people and my people also accept me and they also take it forward. And when there is harmony at the home, there is order in the nation. Our society will be more peaceful and everybody will be accepting. Everybody will be working together in collaboration. And when there is order in the nation, there will be always peace in the world. On that note, I would like to really take up on one more quote, that is, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a character. Sow a character such that you reap a destiny. So the thought that we are sowing in today, that should become our habit. Our habit will become our character will become our dream will become our destiny. So on that note, today we are talking about SDGs with UHVHE values. And such a beautiful topic. With all these quotes, what is saying is that if we want to bring a change in the society, that should start from within ourselves first, and such that we should become a valuable person in the society, and we will be able to contribute much as such. So it's SDG is not something that we are talking very big or something out of the world or something which we need to integrate, we need to imbibe or whatever thing. It has to start from within so that we will be able to see it, visualize it, live with it, happily evolve with it such that we will be able to take forward. Because whatever we want to say to the community, people will ask, are you doing it first? If you're doing it, then I will take you as an example. So when we say it to the community, we should say that I am doing it. So better why I am able to do it. Why not you are able to do it? Hope everybody will agree with me. And if I'm allowed to continue, I will continue.
Thank you, Srividhya ji. We will get back to you. It's nicely you have stated that how we have to work from unreal to the real and from the ignorance to the knowledge, as well as from the limitation to the liberation, and how the worldview of material should change to the holistic. That was nicely quoted with many quotes you have, and rightly mentioned it should all start with us, so it can all start with us. So thank you, Srividhya. We'll get back to you. Let us hear from. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Suresh. You are reiterating the point that the education is playing a major role. And yeah, these are the initiatives that you all could able to see that it is helping us. Let us get the elaborate viewpoint from another esteemed panelist, Dr. Srividhya. What do you think? the potential risk or drawback for not addressing this SDGs at root level?
Thank you, Dr. Srividhya. For anything, there is two parts of it, the two sides of the coin. One is a theory aspect of it, one is a practical aspect of it. So, talking about the theory aspect of it, failing to prioritize the SDGs with the universal human values will possess significant risks, which any no man will be able to say. You'll not be an expert or a thing. It will worsen inequality in living. That is, the gap between the rich and the poor that we are trying to bridge will never be matched, and it will be rapidly increasing, where the rich is able to capture the 1% and 2/3 of the new wealth by 2020-30. So that's what is the thing. So our SDG goal of inequality in our sustainability, this can never be bridged between the countries, and the countries to grow potentially will grow, and that will be, which will lead to social unrest and political instability across the globe. This is the first risk that we will be facing overall among the global level. I'm talking about. I'm going to cascade it from the highest level to the lowest level, like environmental degradation. That's again the biggest challenge, which I think it's one of the goals for 2030. It's not, I think, it's definitely one of the goals for 2030, but still, what we will be able to see is that only about 99% of the urban areas will be able to breathe pure. And remaining that 1% will always remain polluted, and that will never be matched at all. And also the climatic change, biodiversity loss, pollution, all these hazards will just continue, and it just goes on. And as this goes on, parallelly, another threat which is going to really grip all of us will be economic instability across the globe. So ignoring environmental social governance practices can lead to financial risk, including loss of assets, supply chain disruption, political fines, and etc. So what will happen? Definitely, we will not be able to follow net zero policies with all the government and non-compliance standards and sustainability standards which are involved therein. So what will happen? As a result, humanitarian crisis will follow. This will weaken the global cooperation, and definitely what we will be taking forward to our future generation will be a compromised globe, which will say that, okay, fine, this is what we have to survive with that. So this is what theoretical, statistical point of view that we are saying. Coming to the theoretical, practical analysis of exactly what we are today, what is the solution? So if these are the big alarms or the threats that we are going to have, how we can relate the UHV to the classroom situation is that the future of the civilization is built to the walls of the classroom. That's the pre-note. Now, as on present day, the future of the civilization is not built in the walls of the classroom. That means education doesn't confine to the four walls of the classroom. Each and every single life experience should be a learning experience for the learner, such that they learn and they grow, they evolve, they relate, they are able to evolve from the situation, from the life experiences, and they imbibe it not as a study from the books or the classroom situation or from the monitors or the PowerPoint presentations or the examination question paper. It's going to be a life experience such that they enjoy it, they see it as a self, they respect it, such that they also value the nature and theoretical aspect of it, such that each and every one of the society members will be able to contribute to it. And coming to the practical classroom situation, when we talk about UHGs, why not we think about integrating this UHV value to the topic of the lesson that is being taught in the classroom situation. Anyway, teachers are making lesson plan. So with the lesson plan, there should be one column saying that this topic of the lesson is relating to this UHV values of exactly what we are talking about. So when we try to do it, definitely that will be, I think it will be measurable. It will move like a smart board. It will be smart, it will be timed, it will be achievable, and also we'll be able to go further. This is what I feel. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Srividhya. It's nice to hear that the gap we are trying to bridge is
it's increasing, that we are all witnessing that in spite of so much effort we put in, the impact is so marginal and the gap is increasing. Like you pointed, gender equality, all these, it's keep increasing. And how we can connect this UHV values with our own classes, that comes as a nice idea, which we want to take it forward. So let us also hear from the other panelist, Dr. Shekhar Babu. So before we go to the next panelist for the concluding remark, I request ICHVHE to launch the poll. Yeah, so the poll is here. You can all answer to the poll. According to the text, what fundamental factors needed to explore sustainability effectively? Maximizing the use of the resources, developing a holistic worldview and understanding of interconnectedness, reducing the global population, enhancing the consumerism to drive economies. So let's get back to getting this concluding remarks from Dr. Srividhya. Over to you for the concluding remarks. Srividhya, you have to unmute yourself. And due to the time constraint, I request all the panelists to be mindful of timing and be brief. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sukumar. So we have been successful in implementing these SDGs now. At least the awareness is being created and we are on the right track. And so with this, I think with a positive note that we will be able to achieve. And taking into examples across the globe, like we have got improved water access to people, provided school supplies. These are the things that has really made a change in the living. So if we move on the right track, and especially empowering women has been taken as a bigger initiative, and also like talking about sustainability, finance, and biodiversity and ecosystems, which is creating a beautiful financial landscape for all the countries across the globe, has really helped us by and large and far for the community development, environmental conservation, sustainability development, everything. So if at all we have a dream, it's like changing the dream into reality. So it will definitely follow through with all these actions in work, etc. And so let's be on the right track. Let's have this knowledge sharing sessions. Let's put forth all our ideas together, collaboratively work together, such that, as I always conclude, coming together is only a beginning. Staying together is a process. Working together is success. As we all work together, definitely we'll be able to achieve it. So,
thank you, Srividhya. So let's hear from our last panelist, Shekhar Babuji. Over to you for your remarks.
Yeah, thank you, madam. It was one of the most fruitful sessions we attended. There was a good observations by the esteemed panelists, and in fact, the topic has been touched from all the corners. And before concluding, there was a small question raised by Mr. K. Rajesh Babu, one of our delegate. He felt that the thought process is being dictated by extraneous factors, but I think it's better to address to that guy, actually, Mr. Rajesh. Understanding the SDGs and attending to the universal human values lectures has changed the life of many individuals. Generally, people think it is extraneous when people do not learn to live in harmony, especially in self. So what is suggested is, first please try to learn to live in harmony with you, family, society, and environment, and then have a right understanding between the happiness and the prosperity. Then you will realize the real importance of this. There were good number of people individually benefited, and even the society is getting benefited with the implementation of these SDGs for the past 9 years. We are all very optimistic that in the by 2030, the goals have been met. So it's good that you have raised it, but our sincere advice is please try to learn to live in harmony and understand the real difference between being happy and being prosperous. And thank you to all the panelists that we learned a lot from every one of you. Listening to your individual perspectives, definitely the knowledge levels of us will improve and add a lot of value to the topic concerned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shekhar Babuji. And thanks for addressing the question raised by Rajesh Babuji. I'm sharing the results for the poll, and 100% it's developing a holistic viewpoint and understanding the interconnectedness. So it was nice time with all of you. I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to all our panelists for their valuable contributions and all your meaningful engagement today. I appreciate all your participation. So thank you so much from my end. Over to you, Jyotiji.
Thank you, Dr. Suprajaji. Am I audible?
Yes, Jyotiji, you're audible.
Thanks a lot to all the delegates. Where this was a very enriching session for all of us. Panelist throws light almost all the aspects, like Professor Srividhya focuses on our darkness, from Astoma, Sadgamaya, and very importantly, she mentioned the theoretical and practical approaches towards the challenges. Thank you, Dr. Srividhya ji. Dr. Suresh Humane ji also throws the light on the education, and the role of the education is very important for all these things. And he also mentioned that the role of NAG, NPC, and understanding and awareness about all these things, because definitely, sir, this is the big pressure on all of us to criteria settled by all these boards. So this is definitely a big issue to be addressed and to be get aware. So this was a very good point raised by you, sir. Dr. Shekhar Babu, sir, thanks a lot for your enriching views. You very broadly mentioned the reasons behind this mini world war we are facing, like lack of right understanding. You also mentioned the important topics like gender inequality and interconnectedness. Thank you so much, sir. And I must pay my special thanks to Dr. Murari Lal Gaur, sir. That is very important point you raised, sir, that all the time the funds are provided by the IITs and IIMs. So this is a very big drawback of the present policy makers, because private sector is totally included. When I also search for the applying the funding, that you should be IITian, if I am going for that SWAYAM portal, you should be IITian. So this is a big gap. So there should be definitely a private public partnership is must. And very important word you throw that the catchy word. This is also very attention keeping idea, because definitely we are just SDGs. Sometimes it becomes fashionable. So we are talking on the SDGs, yeah, sustainability. So sometimes it becomes fashionable. So and definitely the great idea given by you, the tree, the developing and the dimensions and the fruits, is also very attentive. So thanks for sharing your valuable views, sir. And definitely we are looking forward to people like you to getting the good policies in future. I would like to thank my attention to Dr. Vanchana Singh also. Dr. Vanchana, thank you all. Thanks to your vision for the UHV, basically you have given for the SDGs. How can we address all the 17 SDGs? And from extreme consumerism and extreme materialism should be addressed. So we have to move from value education to value-based education. Means each subject should be based on the values. Each output or the outcome should be based on the values. So thanks, Dr. Vanchana. So I would like to thank all the panelists for giving their valuable time, and definitely we will be meeting tomorrow for vision to discuss the vision of the SDGs at grassroots level. Thank you all.
Namaste everyone. We all are so committed. 3 a.m. close to 3 a.m. and we are all awake and working for that. So really nice to interact with you all.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Namaste to all.